Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. In a few weeks, we will begin another classic epic campaign, Spawn of Azathoth. It was written by Keith Herber, and our game master will be John Hook. We have not yet created our characters, but we have some good ideas. This is session 0, and we are going to see what we can come up with before we journey into the darkness. So let's begin. John.
Oh, me.
I don't know where Matthew came from.
Awesome. Well, players, welcome. This is going to be the classic campaign, Spawn of Azathoth. This will be a lot of fun. So I sent out a little primer for you guys to look at, for you to kind of consider as you're going to be making your characters. I would like each player to create 2 characters, your initial primary, and let's go ahead and prepare a backup. Being that this is a campaign, I think you're going to need it. Who knows, though? You may be able to survive all the way through without needing your backup, but let's better to be prepared. Also, I think it's going to be important that all of these characters have some way that we can connect them to each other. So an individual character doesn't need to have connection, ley lines, if you will, to each and every other character, but at least one, so that if laid out on paper, we could connect the dots between all of them so that everybody does have some connectivity to the core group. The campaign, I will say this much, it will begin in Providence, Rhode Island. There are going to be opportunities for the characters to meet people in polite, respectable society. So at first blush, I don't think hobos would work, but if you were dead set on creating a hobo occupation character, we will find a way to do that. So that said, I'm really open to any other kind of character. Your characters should be ideally New England centric, but at least one of you, preferably maybe more than one, but at least one of you needs to be either born and raised in Providence or needs to have attended Brown University in Providence. And I will let you guys decide who that is. Maybe more than one of you go to Brown, and maybe more than one of you have an education that spans to multiple universities. Maybe some of you are at Brown. Maybe some of you have also been both at Brown and at Miskatonic or other universities. Whatever that you want to do. Arkham and those surrounding areas do exist in this world. Even though we are setting this in Providence, that's not to say that the other fictitious towns don't exist. They do exist in this world. So
what's the year that it starts?
Yes, good question. I thought I had already remember. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I can find that out real fast.
You had 1927.
There we go. 1927.
I think you said a month too. I don't remember that.
May. I do remember it's May. So when we open up the scenario, when we bring the camera into focus, it will be May of 1927.
All right.
Would go ahead.
I was just going to say, ever since you said that you were going to run the game and invited the players, we've been thinking about what characters we want to play. So we've been discussing ideas behind your back. Not really behind.
Good. Plot scheme.
But I'm just going to suggest, Morgan, you talk about yours first, since I think that you do have a tie into Brown University.
Yeah. So I was thinking of playing a professor of astronomy, Dr. Frederick Long. I was thinking either he's a professor at Brown or he studied at Brown and is now a professor at Miskatonic.
Either of those are perfect.
Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to go with he was born and raised in Providence. He went to Brown, but he got a position down with Miskatonic, so that's where he lives now.
That's perfect. I like that. I like that a lot.
And then I was thinking, because he picked the astronomer, which I had also thought of too, I would go in the opposite direction and pick astrologer. And I studied at Miskatonic and became a professor, but I was dismissed because my ideas were too ridiculous for them to stomach. And so maybe I'm in Providence now.
I like it. I like it. That's a great two-sided coin. That's really, really good.
But occasionally, Morgan and I see each other at parties, and we hate each other.
It's funny. I was just brainstorming some ideas, and I chatted with Morgan briefly, and our professions just sort of bumped into each other. I was thinking along the lines of a librarian. I'd never played the classic librarian, so I figured, university librarian might be a good classic role to finally take. And this could be a great relation or connection, at least, acquaintance at least, with Morgan's character. And now that I hear Tom's character is similarly aligned in a university, I might know you as well, or neither. But
Probably.
that might, yeah.
Maybe I'm really interested in some of the esoteric books that you have access to. Maybe that's why I got kicked out, because they wouldn't let me study Unausprechlich and Colton.
Yeah, the late fees in the library books just got too high, Tom.
Can't check the Necronomicon out for more than a couple of days.
I like it. Josh, what kind of character are you thinking about?
So, I've been umming and ahhing between things, but at the minute I'm settling on, I was born in Providence, I went to Brown University, I'm now a professor at Brown University, and I'm a professor of history.
That's great. That's a great character.
But yeah, that's as far as I've got so far.
Okay. David.
I have to say that, before this conversation began, I was also considering being an academic at Brown, but maybe we should bust it up a little bit and not have it all be eggheads.
Sure. Sure. That would be great.
The first idea that leapt into my head was that I might be a prominent Providence banker. Just because it leapt into my head, and it seems to offer us a little variety in terms of personality type and interest.
I think that's a great idea. I really like that. I really like that.
We'll work with that. And then as far as how I know people, I mean, I could be a trustee at Brown, because they like rich people for those sorts of positions, boards of directors and trusteeships and things.
Yep.
Which could connect me to at least a couple of these folks in the university.
So, David, in your studies at Brown University, is it conceivable that you may have taken some archaeology classes?
Absolutely, makes sense to me.
Okay.
It's a hot field in the 20s, and it's a field that a lot of dilettantes are operating in, because they don't, not every school is investing a great deal of money in archaeology, so it's often rich people who are funding their own
digs. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I mean, not to design your character, but would it be possible that you could have been a major in finance and a minor in archaeology?
That works for me. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
and it could be like it could be that I come from a family of upper crust financial types, and so
true.
Dad leaned on me to get the straight degree, but my passion is for archaeology.
So let's get to the brass tacks then, because I like these high-level concepts. I like all 5 really, really well. I think these would make for perfect primary characters for this campaign, for these to be the characters that you guys initially start with. I think it would makes best sense for the narrative of the adventure of the scenario if your characters fall within the 30 to 40 age range, maybe as high as mid 40s. But if you have a preference to create a character who's younger than 30 or older than 45, that's totally fine also. But I would say it would make sense as far as the 5 of you knowing each other if you're also kind of in the similar age range, because you kind of would, and again, 15 years, 30 to 45 is a pretty big spread, but it's enough that it's conceivable that you guys could run in the same circles, being of that type of age range. So think about that too. If you're concerned or want to make someone who's older, more experienced, or younger and less experienced, again, that's fine. But I was kind of thinking that maybe it would make sense if everybody was in the 30 to 45 range. But make your own choices, please.
I figured also
so let's
that,
get.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, I figured since we're going to green screen and costume this one, that our physical forms sort of need to fit in as well. So I'm choosing on the higher end of that, like 43, because I've got this. You know what I mean?
Right. Uh-huh.
I'm not 18.
You had me fooled.
Likewise.
I'll just say that. You had me fooled. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you guys could, but Morgan doesn't necessarily have to create someone who's, a teenager, right? I mean, you're 17, right? 17, 18.
A little older than that, not by
just
much.
A little bit older. Okay.
There are 2 twos in my age. Okay.
There are 2 twos. Okay, you have both the 2s, so that's good.
I have both of them. I've achieved.
That's awesome.
I think Josh is younger.
I'm the youngest.
Is Josh younger? Josh, how?
Yeah.
Oh.
Josh is 21
this year.
Oh, you're going to be
22 in September.
Yeah, he's soon to achieve his 2 twos.
Yeah.
Babes, the babes. All the
With
babes.
the power.
That's okay.
With the power.
All
All
power.
the power. Unlimited power.
That's right. That's right. So let's get down to the brass tacks. Let's put your characters together. We're going to use the quick fire rules, and so there's that spread of
45
values. Yeah.
Then 3 50s,
Yep.
then 2 60s, and then a 70 and an 80.
And for our luck, do we do 3d6 reroll ones, 4d6 drop lowest, just 3d6?
Oh, good question. Good question.
Let's I rolled 3 ones like 2 characters ago. I'm still traumatized.
I was in Matthew's game, and he kept having, group luck rolls.
Yeah.
And we were all
That's funny. All right, so let's do luck in this manner. 3d6, reroll ones, but only a single reroll per die.
Got it.
So if that die comes up a 1 again, it's set.
It's a 1. Okay.
It's a 1. Okay.
Oh.
So we'll do that for luck.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah. So I guess it's
and then that times what? 5?
Yeah, times
Yes.
5.
All right. I did get a double 1, but I got 2 4s, so I'm all right.
Yeah, a 1. I got saved from a 1. Now I have a 50 luck, so right in the middle.
I have
Got
60 luck. So.
I got 65. So.
6, 3, and a 1. Here's my 1 re-roll of a 1. Ooh, and a 5. So 6 and 5 is 11, plus 3 is 14. Times 5 is 70. Okay.
Very
Nice.
good.
It's better than 15.
It's better than 15.
So I think my main stat's going to be intelligence, then education. No, POW, because I am a mystical astrologer.
Yes.
And then
So,
averaging down
what
from there.
what occupation are you taking, Tom?
It's still professor,
Okay.
but I'm not currently working at a university.
Okay. Let me,
That might actually be interesting for my secondary character. You said it doesn't have to be tied to us, but if it is tied to us, it could be the guy that I work with who dupes the people out of their money and gets them. He rings the bell in the dark and moves the Ouija board.
Oh, Houdini would love him.
Yeah. When I'm bilking little old ladies out of their cash.
Oh, there it is, way at the back.
I've never been unscrupulous. Maybe I'll be unscrupulous in this game. I just hate unscrupulous.
I didn't know, Tom, with the type of character that you're playing.
Is there something like occultist?
Well, that's just it. I think your character, because of the concept that you put together, could actually fall under a variety of occupations. So let me take a look at this occupation list, and maybe because that could give you access to different skills. Not that you're limited to any skills. I mean, obviously with your personal development points, you can put them in anything, but you might consider things like occultists. I could see occultists being one of these. I could also see criminal.
But real minor criminal,
Very minor. No,
I think
I totally agree.
I actually thought of that. I thought that he'd have a really high history, and that's basically magic lore and all of that sort of stuff. That's what he's taught and studied. But he's also got sleight of hand, so he can pick your pocket, and he can, make things suddenly appear on the table.
And doesn't criminal have that? I mean,
yeah.
You could highlight, also with the criminal, they'll have the combat skills. You don't have to highlight those if you don't want them to, but they're available to you if you if you wanted to put some points into it.
I don't know about the other professors, but my character's always armed, but he's armed with a derringer. Some ridiculous, dainty little pearl-handled thing.
Tiny, yeah.
That mostly for show, but also because, you never know when somebody's going to come up behind you. And
Yep.
I am armed with a letter opener. It's a very nice letter.
Yeah, I will allow letter opener to be small knife. We'll do small knife damage with that.
Wonderful.
You're also a librarian, so you've got a lot of book glue. You could stick them to the wall really quick.
Oh, squirt it in their eyes and poke them with the letter opener.
For the banker, David, banker is not an actual occupation that they've pre-thought of, but there's like accountant, if you wanted to use the accountant occupation and just call it banker.
They have bank robber.
My other question, especially for at least Tom and I, who are playing more middle-aged types, I'm wondering about Great War experience and whether any of us served in the Great War.
Yep, and in this, something that I think is really fun to use, if you have access to your investigator handbook, on page 61 is the optional rule of experienced investigators, and there's the war experience package, the police experience package, organized crime, medical, and there's mythos. If anybody wanted to be a war vet, I'm totally down for that. Have your character include the war experience package.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense for me. If I'm going to be 42, I'm very much of active age during the war.
I think that my character is a coward, so he's probably somehow managed to continue teaching, and I don't know, maybe they figured the teachers were too valuable to send them off to the war.
Well, you could have faked an injury during the draft period, when the
bone spurs.
I walk with a cane. A walk with a cane that I don't actually need.
There you go.
Until I need to run, then I.
That's right. And having a cane is a handy club, or could be a sword cane, so.
Yeah, I couldn't find a sword.
Look at that.
So at age 40, for me, that would also ballpark put the war package being, because a huge portion served in the war in the States.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but it was a pretty large amount. So I guess I'll go.
And some of those lads were smart enough to sign up for paperwork jobs. So some of them signed up to serve in the war as clerks or war correspondents, to be a journalist or something. So not that anybody here, I mean, this group, which again, I like the core concept that you guys have put together. It is a very academic group. We don't have any journalists. We don't have any doctors, but we're still only on our primary characters. We have our secondary characters, and maybe some of these other occupations will kind of come in through that. So yeah, you can, if you feel like your character is old enough to have served and did serve, go ahead and add the war experience package to your character.
So that's a hit on Sam, though. Oh yeah, there it is.
I took 13.
It does. Yep, there's a little bit of a sand hit.
1d10 plus 5. Here we go. Into the breach. How bad was it? Oh, not too bad. 3 plus 5 is 8. All right.
Yeah, I took 13, so I'm considering maybe a phobia or mania instead of an injury or a scar, because that's a non-trivial amount of sand loss. I did not have a fun time.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I can help you out with that if you want to randomize it. I've got I have some phobia and mania tables here.
Sure, let's choose. Let's roll it and see if we get something that makes sense for the Great War.
All right, so why don't you first do a like a D6 and tell me odd or even, and that'll determine whether you're doing phobia or mania. Phobia will be odd,
okay,
mania will be
3,
even.
So phobia.
And now roll a D100, and we'll see what phobia.
87.
87. 87 is... Oh, this is cool. Triskaidekaphobia.
Fear of 13?
Fear of 13. Fear of the number 13.
That's nice. I like that as a starting phobia because it isn't crippling and doesn't prevent me from doing reasonable things. But it can come up, willy-nilly.
Well, and yeah, this is a great phobia for me as a keeper. I can add a 13 into different areas that may or may not have vital impact, but it could be just that amount of a psychic roadblock for you.
The German 13th Infantry Division fought the Americans in World War I.
Yeah, and for 13 days you were pinned down by enemy fire, and you thought they were your final days. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that could trigger that for you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
With 8. Sorry.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of maybe my character being about early 30s. Maybe he would have served because he would have been young, and he might have been like, "Yeah, this is something that I wanna go help my country." So, I think maybe he would have served.
Okay, I'm totally good with that. You can serve.
So let's see that SAN loss. Oh god, that is 12 sanity lost.
Oh jeez.
Huh. So that takes me to 38 sanity.
What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We haven't even started.
It's a good thing we're making 2 characters, right?
We're all heavily injured already.
Maybe my backup character will be his psychiatrist. Sounds like one is necessary.
That's finally somebody who can pass a psychology roll.
Let's randomize that phobia. I'll do a phobia as well. Why not? A phobia. I mean.
All right. Well, roll a d6. Tell me odd or even. Odd is phobia. Even is mania.
Okay. Odd. I'll go odd.
Odd phobia. So D100.
67.
67. Oh, this one makes good sense too, especially for being a vet. And I can spell this for you if you need me to, but ligrophobia, it's a fear of loud noises.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense for somebody in the war.
Yeah, ligrophobia.
Spell that for me.
Yep, ready?
Yep.
L-I-G.
Yep.
Y-R-O.
Yep.
Phobia. P-H-O-B-I-A.
And fear of loud noises.
Fear of loud noises.
Makes that a lot of...
Should
see him trying to fire a gun.
One of you fire a gun and I'm just like shaking in the corner.
He's trying to plug his ears and fire the gun at the same time.
Should I roll as well for 8 sand loss, or is that more down in the realm of a scar, or would that be?
You can choose. You can choose if you think it's enough to. I mean, in game terms, losing 5 is enough to invoke a bout of madness. So, if you prefer to have a phobia or mania, we can randomize that. If you prefer instead to have a scar, a very manly scar, you can do that.
Yeah. We'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll have part of my hand blown off. We'll take 2 fingers off. And
Sweet.
And 4, 5, 6, it'll be some horrible mental. It's a 1. All right, so I'll go down to just a couple fingers missing. Oh, damn.
Sweet.
Crap.
Jesus.
What had you chosen for Dex?
45. I kept it the lowest.
There you go.
That totally makes sense.
You will not be doing any card tricks.
Yeah.
Your dex was 50 until you had those fingers blown off.
Yeah. All right. That's going down in scars and horrible things.
I like it. Morgan, what's going on with you?
I don't think so. Being 45, my character, he would have been 35. He would have been in his 30s when the war was on. He probably would have just
service is not mandatory. You could have found a way to get out of it.
He passed. He's not. He didn't serve.
All right. I like it.
So I feel like academia was a more important thing to do than going and killing Germans in the trenches. So
there you go.
Question. If for my secondary character I choose somebody who's a con man, does that really work in this campaign? Is a con man going to make it, or is a con man a criminal element that wouldn't cooperate with anybody? And
that's a good question. Of course, it would boil down to the way that you wanted to role play him. Certainly, the character could be, under normal circumstances, a con man character could be very self-centered, only looking out for themselves, trying to, pull the wool over their mark's eyes in order to benefit themselves. And then maybe as you somehow get kind of embroiled into this adventure,
he changes.
You've changed and you're trying to rise above yourself, and you're trying to have that, greater good kind of outlook. That's possible. If you were going to want to role play the character as self-centered, only looking out for themselves, what's best for me, where can I profit from this mystery that I've become involved in, may not work for the narrative, but again, it's how you want to play the game.
Right. Yes, I mean, sometimes we pick characters, and then once we're in the game, we realize the character doesn't really work for the story, in which case they don't have much to do, and they don't add to the story. For instance, like if a con man goes on Horror on the Orient Express, it makes almost no sense at all, how he would even get on the Orient Express.
Again, that concept, you're right, doesn't work if the con man is maintaining it's all about me.
Right.
How can I profit from this? If somehow the character has had some kind of epiphany and is going through a life-changing event, and yes, I've spent my life as a con man, but now I'm trying to do myself better and be better for mankind.
But he has those skills.
That could be
right.
But he still has the skills that he relied on for so long. But now maybe there's some kind of change. If you make that change part of your character, and that becomes the focal point for your role play, where you say, yeah, I am this con man occupation, but I've had this change. Something, make that part of your character. Something has changed me, and now I'm trying to rise above it. And I'm a person who is in a state of change. I don't know what I'm becoming. Maybe that character is going to eventually go on to learn new skills to become a law enforcement officer, right?
Well, yeah, maybe.
But you haven't achieved that occupation yet. You're still working with your old occupation, knowledge as you're in that transition. So it depends on how you want to role play them.
Okay. I actually like that idea now that you say it that way. It makes a lot of sense.
It can work. It can work. And as a game master, I try to, as different individual players, bring different character types to the table. Sometimes different characters don't blend well with others, but I do try to find a way to make them work. And sometimes that conflict makes for entertainment. So, which is why we do this on YouTube, right?
True.
Make it entertaining for everybody.
I have an idea for a backup character.
Yes.
Second character. I'm thinking a private investigator who served in the war with one of the other characters that were in the war. Like an old war buddy or somebody.
Yes, I love that idea.
Not
We've
my
already
own
got
character.
3.
He didn't serve in the war. But.
Yep, yeah. We've got 3 other war vets. You can definitely tie in with one of those.
Maybe the war is how I know Stuart's character.
Exactly. See, we can use the war to tie in some of these other characters together.
Maybe you saved one of my fingers in a jar.
I just keep it behind my desk. Like
it's on a necklace. He wears it around his neck all the time.
Yeah, that's how I lost it. It was a bet. We were gambling. We got drunk. I lost. There went the finger.
And there went my sanity whilst I was helping you chop your fingers.
So I think my second character will be tied into my first character in that he's a con man, and together they bilk old ladies out of their money with the whole Swami fortune-telling thing.
Yep.
But maybe he doesn't like doing it. And maybe the second character kind of comes in when the first character bites the dust.
Right.
So that might be the thing that changes him. I like that.
He could be your no good younger brother.
Yeah.
So when you lost your university position and started to believe your own nonsense, he showed up and we could make $1 out of this.
Yep. Or the nephew who looked up to you, and then should your primary character be removed from the game for pretty much any reason, that could be enough to motivate the younger character to avenge you or get retribution for whatever happened, and that might also be the metamorphosis for that character, to kind of elevate him out of the how can I profit, it's all about me kind of attitude that a con man normally would have. So are people assigning skill points? Are you getting into your skills and stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
And they're going, really, according to the character, my professor's got Latin and Greek because he studied the occult, and he studied, that's where you're going to find all these books.
Great.
And he's got Spot Hidden, and he's got Sleight of Hand because he
Sleight of hand.
pickpockets. Yeah.
And so, David, you said your character is going to have some archaeology to kind of it doesn't have to be a huge amount, but just if you would drop a few points into archaeology, that would help me make some sense of this.
Sure. I'm using the white collar worker executive template.
Great.
And that gives me a fair number of points to put into
spread around.
Yeah, to put into non core skills.
I've got a fair amount of anthropology and accounting because that's allowed for in my librarian template.
Okay.
I've spread a little there.
We're going to account the heck out of those archfiends.
I've got some accounting as well.
Oh, nice. Number crunching.
Remember, debits on the left, credits on the right.
Red and black.
Obviously, my main one is history. That's where I've got the largest.
Now, one other request, and this is, of course, you're the GM. You say no, right? Yeah, so it's no. My professor worked at Miskatonic. Is there any chance that he got his nose in a book that he shouldn't have and gained 1 or 2% Cthulhu mythos?
Ooh, okay.
Something that maybe he doesn't necessarily believe, but he's got it in his head.
Well, would your character, and I will, this is one I do want to kind of have a little bit of control over.
Right. Absolutely.
Would your character like to have the Mythos experience package?
I don't know where that is. I'm looking in the book.
Page 62.
Page 62. Where are the page numbers? Oh. Why did they put them? Wait, maybe they're not. This is my.
Oh, down the path you go.
Let's see. Mythos experience package. The investigator has knowledge of the Cthulhu mythos either in an academic sense or through tangible experience. Discuss with the keeper how the investigator is aware of the Cthulhu mythos through reading books or experience, and write this into the investigator's backstory. If the knowledge has been gained through reading books, describe whether the investigator is a believer or not. Adjust the following for the investigation. Increase Cthulhu mythos skill to level agreed by the keeper. Reduce maximum sanity in line with the Cthulhu mythos skill. If a believer deducts san equal to the amount of Cthulhu mythos skill gained, add 2 to the following to the investigator's backstory: injury, scar, mania, phobia, or encounter with strange entity associated with the mythos experience. Spells only if a believer. With the keeper's permission, the keeper will determine what spells the investigator has access to. Is that tempting or what?
Do it.
That sounds tempting.
I say go for it.
I'll go for it.
Yeah. Like the other half of us are already heavily hit with sand loss already.
So let's see. 35 points in no.
It's doesn't it say D10 plus 5? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's more than I really expected. D10 plus 5. Holy crap, I've really read some books, haven't I? Where did my dice go? I can't even find my dice.
You've played this game before, right?
I have.
Just a couple times.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, just once or twice.
One of those situations where I'm holding the dice in my hand while I'm looking for it on the
Oh,
table.
yeah. Like, where are your glasses? Wait a minute.
10.
Is that what you rolled, or that's the total?
No, I got a 10 at plus 5.
Oh, you maxed it. Oh God.
Yeah, drop.
Zero is a
15.
10, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh, we all just badly sanity damaged at the
All right,
beginning.
that's a first for any character of mine.
So as you guys make your characters, when you get your names and everything, Stuart put his in the chat, and I would appreciate that because I'm going to take some notes here, so I got them on hand.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll also send you all of our character sheets.
Yes, that would be much appreciated.
I just put that up there just so everyone else could kind of, everyone's brain can start the process. Yeah, basically, I for my name, I rolled 3 times for the first name, 3 times for the last name, and picked my favorites out of what I rolled, and it was Cornelius Cuthbert.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that.
There's some great names in there.
There's some really bizarre names as well that you wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, like Cecil, but I didn't roll Cecil.
Now I think occultist is most proper for my character. And I like the brother. I like the brother idea. Which gives away.
Did you actually achieve a PhD, Dr. Zeno?
Professors don't necessarily have PhDs, do they?
No.
Oh God.
Yeah, so no.
Could be.
Okay.
Technically, my education, I only put down 60.
So that's enough to be dangerous, but probably not doctor.
Right.
But that doesn't stop you from calling yourself doctor.
Right.
That's what I want to get at. Is your professional stage name is your Dr. Zeno Saladin.
Right. My real name is Herbert Bunce.
So for the names, I rolled 100 on the period names because I've been doing what Stuart did, rolling 3, and I got 100, and that's Zebedee as a male name.
Yeah, do it. That's awesome.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on what I roll on the last name.
That's on 54 and 55. Zebedee. Cool. All right. Yeah, I need to figure out my second character. So with my military experience, the wartime package, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm pouring it into just 2 categories. One for fighting brawl, which I didn't have anything in before, but I figured, part of basic, you're pretty well versed in that. And then the other part is into first aid. Know how to, do triage and stuff like that. And that's it. I'm not going to get all commando with combat.
Yeah, I went with first aid as well because I feel like he would have tried to help people more, so maybe he would have gone that route. Okay, so my name is Zebedee Cordova. That's what I'm going with.
Zeb.
Oh my goodness.
Call you Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb and Zeno. Zeno and Zeb. Oh, this is going to be great. Tongue twisters.
Left it to the dice.
Yeah. And Dexter. I like that. Myron Dexter. There's like lots of X's and Z's.
Yep, I like Myron Dexter a lot too.
My secondary character is Theo Bunce, Herbert's brother.
Gotta think about that. I'm thinking maybe a doctor for my second character. I don't know. A medical doctor. I don't know. Maybe a journalist.
Did someone say they were thinking of a private investigator for their second?
Yes, my secondary character is a private investigator who served in the war, so that's kind of my tie-in to somebody else.
Do you need
Hank
a driver?
Bennings.
Hank Bennings.
Do you need a driver? A mechanic and driver?
No, I'm giving myself a few points in Drive Auto.
Oh, okay.
With this guy, anyway. Not sure about a mechanic.
Is anyone running a dilettante that might need a mechanic and driver?
Well, if I was I could be like a really high-end doctor, but I could have my own driver. I don't know. Who knows?
And every character with the war is heavy losses. I just lost 13 San. The backup character.
That's awesome.
I think I'm gonna duck out of the war for my last character. I want to have some regular San.
I don't know what to be for my second character. I'll have a look. I'll have a think. That's my second character.
70 luck, though, on the backup character. Do you still have those phobias and manias handy?
I sure do.
Okay. So, odd, which is a phobia.
Odd is phobia.
And 20. Uh-oh.
Coulrophobia, a fear of clowns. COULRO phobia. Coulrophobia, fear of clowns.
I have to think long and hard about how the war gave me that. Okay.
Well, you know, the German clown battalion. You know, they just came right at you.
I mean, it could have been a fear as a child that you could have had a fear of clowns as a child, and then just the experience of the war. You could have had an experience with flashing lights of ordnance being exploded, and who knows? I mean, you could have been your squad, your division could have been like moving through a town, and there could have been a carnival or some sort of traveling group that was already devastated, right? So there's already carnage of this carnival just outside of this little French town or something, and as your squad was moving through, there could have been snipers or some kind of ambush set up in that carnival, and that just heightened your childhood fear of clowns as these people who were disguising themselves as clown corpses stood up with guns and started attacking. I mean, it could have been anything, right?
Okay. Yeah.
There's no carnage like carnage.
Question for the keeper. Would a second character, might it be too late to introduce an archaeologist as a second character? So just like a full-on archaeologist?
No, that's still great.
Okay,
it's a perfect opportunity for that.
I might just do that then. I will commit to cover the archaeology spot.
Perfect.
Now, what do I want my second character to be?
Zebedee. Oh my God.
The dice spoke.
All right, I'm going to stick with it. Josh, you've enforced the tradition.
Yeah, I've done it for a second character as well, but
Oh, all right. I will do it for my second. We're just going to blame the book, page 54 and 55.
Where the dice fall.
Yeah, my second character will be called Samson Lake.
Oh, that's a good name. I like that.
I think a friend of mine honeymooned there.
Keeper, I sent you a message because I didn't want to say it out loud because it's more fun if they don't know.
Keeping secrets, are you?
Already.
I approve, Tom.
Okay. And then the question then is, do I get a spell?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me.
The pyrotechnics begin early.
Destroy all monsters.
Let me consult the book.
It's going to be minor.
You know what? I'll go journalist for Samson Lake is a journalist. That's what we'll go.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
My first character name that I came up with was a Solomon. It's a good name.
It's Samson.
Oh, Samson. Sorry.
Yeah.
Strong guy.
It was close to Solomon, I think.
Do you think, John, a psychiatrist would be out of place?
Absolutely not. Psychiatrists will be perfect.
Okay, I think my backup's going to be a psychiatrist. Since my
he could have been my psychologist. We could say.
By time I need a backup character, we'll probably all need psychiatrists.
Exactly.
Right.
Alrighty.
Samson Lake's a coward. He wouldn't have served in the war.
Did they have psychiatrists in that year? I know they had alienists. Psychiatrist is a medical doctor and
I feel like alienist is a more 19th century term. Although what the drugs were in terms of psychiatry in 1927, pretty primitive.
Give him some morphine. He seems to like it. It lifts his moods.
Absinthe and laudanum all the way.
Lobotomies.
Lobotomies. Archibald Crabtree.
Oh.
What a name.
Crabtree or Crabtree?
In the investigator's handbook, it says, until the 1930s, any physician could request being listed in the directory of the American Medical Association as a specialist in psychiatry.
Oh, okay. I think I like the word alienist better than...
Sure, yeah.
It sounds creepy.
Oh, actually, under psychiatrist, it also says see alienist.
Huh. There you go.
Well, like you say, it could be 18th century or 17th, 19th century. We do have games in the Gaslight, which we haven't had very many. Stuart, you like the Gaslight stuff.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Oh, yeah, and the player guide says in the 20s, alienist is still in use.
In the TV show, he's basically looking into criminal investigation into psychological weirdos.
Alrighty. EDU times 4 for my skill points as an archaeologist. Thinking 80.
I like that idea that you came up with, that my character got kicked out of the university and then his brother is like, hey, we could make some money out of this. Let's figure out a way. That's really cool.
Also, since you rolled maximum sand loss, like it makes so much more sense that you couldn't keep your astronomy free of your astrology anymore and started just scaring the undergraduates.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this.
My psychiatrist did well with the luck score.
Oh, good.
15. Whereas 65. Very nice.
Oh, that's right. Uh-oh. Let's see. Am I an Indiana Jones archaeologist, or am I a Where's Waldo? Whatever. Ooh, 555. I'll take that. What is that? That's
75.
75.
You're one of those archaeologists that uses dynamite to find things. You know, the funniest thing, I heard a big criticism for that, archaeologists never use dynamite. But I was watching an old movie, and they were in Egypt excavating, and they were using dynamite. And I'm like, oh.
What archaeologist in one of the games we had a Barrett, like, 50 caliber rifle?
That was Zane.
Yeah, Zane.
That's
that's
always
right.
Zane.
Yeah. An archaeologist, but the like something that can take out an elephant at like 200 yards.
One never knows when
You never know.
a rhinoceros will show up while you're excavating.
Oh yeah.
Dane, if you watch this, know that we love you.
Oh, 100%.
Of course we do,
Yes.
Zane.
That's inspiring me. There's no shade there. But don't worry, I'm not asking for a elephant rifle.
Holy
So-
crap. Zane texted me just as you said that.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, he sensed the Barrett rifle.
He knew. How did he know?
That's weird. Alexa, what time is it in Auckland, New Zealand?
They are
It's 1:57 p.m.
Oh, 1:57 p.m.
Tomorrow, though, right?
Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah, so it's tomorrow afternoon.
August
It's
4th.
2:57 for me in the morning. So
Jeez, Josh, that's dedication.
Josh, you
I-
are a nut.
I don't go to bed till like 5 in the morning anyway. I don't sleep very well, so it's perfect. It's
Okay.
perfect time.
Okay. Okay. Should I go with the wartime package? I need to look up the stats. What was the percentage of, let's see, 43? It's what, 1927?
Yeah, 27.
So 27. So 1917 would be 10 years ago. I'm 43 now. So that'd be 33. So let's see. Percentage of 33-year-olds in the U.S. that fought in the war. Let's see if I can look that up.
What did I come up with on my? Oh yeah. I'm using Dole's House.
Oh, okay. So, sorry.
I like their online Call of Cthulhu form filler router.
So depending on age bracket, it is 25 to 30% of the population. Oh, but that's probably dropping off old and young.
Tom, I sent you an email.
Okay, I'll look at it in just one sec.
So I have Stuart's 2 characters. I have Tom's 2, Morgan's 2. I'm looking for Josh's 2nd and David's 2nd.
I think.
There's David's. I see David's now.
Oh no! Oh, I never pressed enter on mine. It's just that. Okay. Yeah, Samson's a little bit of a coward. So he's good at running if he needs to.
I'm a journalist, so you want to know my private investigator?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, that would probably be a good connection. Because you could probably come to me and I may come to you.
Both do some snooping around.
Yeah. So I've kind of gone down the investigative journalist route, so.
Perfect. So what okay, good. I'm glad you got that, Tom. What we will do is we're going to make the assumption as the game is unfolding that in the off periods, in the times when the camera is not focused on your character, communiques, unless your character is somehow restricted and unable to make a communiques are being sent to others, to background characters. We're not going to worry about, unless you really feel like expressing that during the gameplay, we're not going to need to worry about that, so that if and when it ever comes to the point where a backup character is required, that this known assumption that communiques are happening behind the scenes, that will be the trigger. So either it is now because of the lack of timely and steady communiques not coming in for that backup character. Now they're like, what's going on? Why did so-and-so stop writing or stop sending me messages? Or it might be, clear enough to where maybe a third party type of character is able to directly inform the backup character and say, something terrible has happened. You should probably go and check this out. Well, now that character, because that character has been receiving communiques throughout, already has the information that they need to get into the mystery up and running, no matter where that mystery might be located at the time.
Okay.
Sounds
So
good.
I'm just trying to put that out there as a mechanic so that we've got a way,
It's
to
usually
plausibly bring them in.
It's usually pretty easy to bring them in.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be having it like grasping at straws at last second. I don't want us to be thinking about it later. This is just something that'll be in place, unspoken, happening, behind the scenes, and then now we can bring in the new characters. Great, awesome. So, you guys can update. So, Stuart, I would like you, now that we have our characters kind of set, Stuart, I would like you for Archibald Crabtree, the archaeologist, you can put a note in the section about important people.
Got it.
You can make a note that Philip Baxter
Okay.
was your mentor. Philip Baxter was your mentor. You kind of studied under Philip, and maybe you started out as a TA as you were getting your degree and everything. But Philip Baxter was one of your mentors when you were getting your education. And the same thing is going to go for Myron Dexter. Myron Dexter, you can just simply kind of note off to the side or whatever that you were drawn more for the, probably, of course you have your own reasons, but probably I would assume the stability and the more, the more guaranteed future of having a wealthy and stable future in the realm of finances and banking. But on the other side of the coin, because that really did draw you and took you into your financial or into your occupational direction. But you really were close. You were close to being an archaeologist because of the lectures that you had that were given by Professor Philip Baxter. He was very captivating and compelling, and he's one of those teachers that left an impression, and it was just almost strong enough to make you change careers. But you definitely know that you made the right choice for your career, but there was always that little thing in the back of your mind going, man, if I had the chance to do it over again, I may have chosen archaeologist, because Professor Baxter, he really definitely had that passion for that field of study, and
he taught archaeology at Brown when I was an undergraduate.
Yes.
Did he have a regional specialty, or was he known for digs in a particular place?
Not that I'm aware of, but we can say the Badlands, right? Since that's the biggest and largest area in the United States. So in the Montana Badlands, he did some of the early groundbreaking finds in the Badlands.
Might have I been his junior assistant at that time?
Yes. Or? Yeah. So I like the idea, since you went with archaeologists with Archibald, you were definitely, I'm going to say you were a TA, a teacher's assistant for him during that time period. You've done digs in Montana with him. You've done lectures, taught in his stead, did some of his classes for him at Brown, that kind of stuff, right? Until you ascended and got your own degree.
Perfect. We might have even met David, Myron, and Archibald. We might have even been in
Absolutely.
the same.
Yeah.
Your characters can have more than one. You have to have a minimum of one, but you can have more than one connection to some of the other characters. It's not necessary to have this spider web, that connects you to every character, but having connections to 2 or 3 characters, 1, 2, or 3 is going to be perfect.
Stuart, which of your characters worked with Baxter?
That's Archibald Crabtree. He's a 43-year-old archaeologist.
Okay, so that's your backup character.
Yeah, my backup.
But I could presumably also know you're a librarian because of being a trustee at Brown.
Exactly, yeah. He's 40-year-old librarian Cornelius Cuthbert at Brown University.
How old is Myron, dude?
44.
44.
I'm also thinking there might be a connection between Morgan's detective and me and my brother.
Yeah.
So so a few more if the private investigator also grew up in Providence, he could have been grew up down the street from my character, from Dr. Long. So there's a tie there, and then he could have easily served in the war with another one of the war people, so he could have 2 connections. But he would be another reason why I don't like Tom's character very much, because
we need to write out all of the characters and then strings together.
Big, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you probably worked with Samson Lake as your PI. So
Break out the Visio charts.
Oh no, Visio. Back in the day.
Oh my God, I haven't played with those in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, it's gonna be good. Oh, I should roll to see if my archaeologist had war experience. So that's about 30% of people his age were in. So I'll just roll a straight up percentage dice. 63. Okay, so I wasn't in.
I like it.
I have a funny feeling that my job in this whole thing is going to be, you're going to throw all these handouts at me that I'm going to have to do, and then people are going to keep changing their characters, and I'm going to keep having to make new overlays.
No.
Well, the hope is that we don't die.
I think it seems like a half of us at least have more stable backup characters than starting characters.
Yeah. You know, John, we have played a couple of games where we played 2 characters each.
That'll be too many for
Too
this.
many.
Yeah.
But like David, we played At Your Door.
Yeah, our assistants.
And their characters all had assistants. And so the assistants were always doing the stuff that they didn't have to do so that they could continue doing their stuff.
My alien is just sane and lucky. And our assistants were kind of in a stasis box much of the time.
Yeah.
And then occasionally they would wheel out to fail to save us from a giant or something.
You had a couple of episodes where it was just the assistants.
Well, mine almost died. My backup character almost died. Like, no, I need you.
I think was it Jason's was the only one that actually
Came
became
into effect, yeah.
player per character. It's because Jason's character's always having sex with NPCs.
The Captain Kirk effect.
Regardless of species.
All right, so what else do we have? Anything?
So if it's okay, I'd like to end session 0 with a very, very short vignette that will involve Myron Dexter.
Okay.
Is everyone okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Myron. It's very late at night. You're asleep in bed. Describe your home and your bedroom to me, please.
My family home is a stately 19th century home in the hills opposite downtown Providence. My parents being deceased, I sleep in the master bedroom, which is heavily paneled wood. There's a bell pull, but I don't have any in-house servants at night. I have a cognac before bed, and I'm reading a book of anthropology before I retire.
Are you married?
No.
Okay. So you're alone in bed?
Yes. In an empty house.
Okay. Something awakens you, a sound. It's like shuffling. You hear like somebody's walking around in your room.
In the room.
In your room. What do you do?
I guess, yeah, I go straight for the cord on the bedroom light.
Okay.
Quietly and quickly.
You reach for the light, and the pull cord, as you pull on it, the bulb pops, And so only for an instant is there light, and then you're plunged in darkness again, except your eyes adjust. And as you look at the foot of your bed, there's a green light. And this green light is emanating from a ghostly figure. There's an apparition at the foot of your bed. It looks like a tall man, but the features are blended and not defined. So you're having a hard time seeing and recognizing who this is. And this person, this male figure, this apparition, is silently reaching out to you, and you can see, even though the blended face, it looks almost like it's smoothed over skin, you can tell the jaw is opening, and there's a hollowing kind of occurring in the mouth area. It's almost as if it's screaming out at you, wanting some help. It reaches out towards you, and then as you're looking at it, a large portion of its skull is suddenly, it looks as if it's been bitten away. It's just gone, and it has the scalping as if teeth marks have bitten into it, and it writhes in agony even more. Make a sand roll, please.
Well, I rolled an 89 for 47.
Lose D4, please.
Curses. That's a 3.
All right. This apparition, in silence, in this agony, it's trying to reach out to you. It's trying to communicate to you. It grabs at its head where it's just been bitten away, and it begins to thrash and fight against some sort of invisible foe as yet another bite mark. It just, a chunk of head is bitten away again, and you see the apparition seems to be in the throes of agony as this one last gesture of pain, and then it starts to fade and collapse as it's falling. And as it's falling, it never, the spiritual body never even hits the floor as it evaporates and just fades away into like motes of green dust that eventually faded away into blackness. You look at your table where the lamp had just popped, and you've got one of those alarm clocks, newfangled alarm clocks, and they've got those number little placards that tick over, the little tab that holds them, and you can see that it's 12:02 a.m. As this occurs. Roll percentile for me, if you would.
So
please.
the thing appeared just at midnight, I would think. And I saw no sense of a creature that was doing harm.
None. It was something invisible.
I just rolled a 93.
All right. Well, with that failure, you do realize then that apparition, that faceless apparition that was having its skull bitten and eaten, and it died by those wounds, that was an apparition of Professor Philip Baxter. And so we'll end there. And that is our initial vignette for Spawn of Azathoth, Herald at the End of Time.
Excellent. All right. Our players will be Morgan Llewellyn, Stuart Lively, Josh Harwood, David Gasway, and myself, with John Hook as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs fall with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good game.